I can talk a lot. In fact, I could talk about this for 100 hours. So forgive me. I have written some notes because I think it's important for me to speak less. Not say less, but speak less. To give some space for your voices while I'm speaking. So, yes, I got it to work. Good. Okay. When I was first invited to speak here tonight, I was really genuinely honoured. And then I had this moment where I was questioning, wondering, do I belong here? Not because I don't care about pride or inclusion, I care very much, but because my own identity I've never really felt like it fit neatly into a box. And with that in mind, this talk, it kind of morphed into me talking or reflecting on my identity and belonging and what it feels like to take up space when you feel like your identity is maybe a little messy or maybe not what people expect. So here we go. I'm very nervous. Don't let being a trainer fool you. It's an important topic, so I think, being nervous is good, right? Hands up if you know who this is. Maybe no one in the room is as old as me and doesn't know, but that's okay. So I first saw her in July 1986. I was 11. I was laying on my best friend's bedroom floor and we were watching Smash Hits, which is an Australian TV show, and I saw her. Ripped jeans, big hair, impossibly cool, and I just thought she was the most wonderful thing I'd ever seen. A few years before that, I'd, become obsessed with Madonna and Cyndi Lauper, but that was different. I admired them and I wanted to be them. Samantha Fox. I mean, look at her. I was obsessed. It's fair to say I was obsessed. This was attraction, even if I didn't have the right words for it at the time. I couldn't stop looking and thinking about her curves, of which there were many. And I think a lot of us have this, don't we? Our first celebrity crush. It might be Gillian Anderson or Xena. There I am, showing my age again. Kristen Stewart, maybe. Or maybe for you it's those Netflix hockey guys whose names I don't know because I'm old. So we have this celebrity who we admire from afar. And they help us realize something about ourselves that maybe we didn't even know what it is. And at the time, I didn't think too much of it. It felt perfectly natural. I mean, I was 11, and look at her. I didn't question what it meant about me. And at the time, I really didn't realize how narrow my understanding of sexuality was at the time. Why? Because this is the world that I was interpreting sexuality by. Sexuality wasn't talked about in a spectrum, at least not when I was growing up. You either liked men or you liked women. So, in my teen years, imagine my surprise when I fell for Jason. And if you're a certain age, feel free to laugh about the Kylie Jason thing. Neighbours, everyone does. So I assumed, well, I must be straight. Maybe all the Samantha Fox stuff was just confusion. I don't know. What I didn't realise is that the framework was incomplete. So I didn't question the framework. I questioned myself. Here we go. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm at work, and that whole binary thing has followed me to the workplace. Only now I've absorbed a new rule, and that is that work isn't about sex, which sounds fine and reasonable, right? But the problem was that back then, and I think to a degree today, queer sexuality was about sex. But straight sexuality, that was filed under family. So it didn't seem appropriate for me to talk about this at work. So I edited myself. I avoided pronouns or chose them carefully. And I certainly didn't tell anyone about my colleague, Susie. Gorgeous, gorgeous Susie. And what we did on the weekends. No. So, but I wasn't afraid, and I didn't feel closeted. I was very fortunate. My family had no issue with who I was, and, you know, I spent every weekend watching drag shows. I didn't feel closeted. I felt considerate, you know, because it's the workplace. As my career developed, I became an ally, I guess. I found myself in DEI spaces. I was also for a long time the DEI coordinator for British Council. Paul, wherever you are, hi. And during this time, I found myself referred to again and again as an ally. And it was meant as a compliment, and it is. But there was still this disconnect. It didn't quite feel right. And I vividly remember one day saying to a colleague, actually, I identify as queer. You could call it bi or pan if you like, if you want a label. And she interrupted me and went, oh, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant is you're not gay. Yeah, and it wasn't so long ago. But anyway, so I had a moment of thinking, not angrily, more quietly. So I'm welcome to support the community, but I don't perhaps belong in the community because I'm not gay or whatever it is you want me to be. Now, I am very aware that I carry a lot of privilege. I was once married to a man. Ugh, I try and say that without going, ugh. Sorry, men, sorry. I have 2 kids, and so many people assume that I am straight, which is fine, I guess. And that comes with ease. It comes with safety. But it also comes with invisibility. I don't come out once. I come out again and again and again, or I just choose not to. If I mention a girlfriend, I see confusion. Girlfriend? You have children. You were married to that guy, that awful one none of us like. Girlfriend? What are you talking about? And so I want to make myself, my life easy again, so I edit myself, kind of smooth the edges. And, you know, I've only just very recently come to realize over coffee with Alice, hi, I can actually see you, can't see anyone else, but I can see you. Over coffee with Alice, I came to realize that this doesn't make me any more or any less queer. All it means is that my identity is maybe a little messy. I'm not gay. I'm Kylie. I'm just me. And it's taken me a really long time to realize that I can be both. I don't have to choose between being queer or being an ally. One is who I am, and one is who I choose to be. And I've lost my piece of paper, but that's... There we go. I want to get this right. So the day that I made these slides, I stopped asking myself whether I deserved to belong here, to be here, or in queer spaces, or anywhere. And instead, I started asking myself whether or not my voice might help someone else feel less alone, regardless of what their identity is. So my story isn't finished. My identity still doesn't fit neatly into a box. It's Kylie, in case you're wondering. That's my identity. But I've come to believe this, and that is that messy identities belong. And when we make room for them, whether that's in the workplace or any space, we make room for more people to show up fully. Thank you.